While summer may be well underway, many of the season's safety concerns have only just begun. Between drowning risks, that gives me chills as a parent, and intense heat, driving distractions, health experts often refer to this time of the year as trauma season. So joining me now to weigh in and to share more about the biggest summer safety issues and how we can prevent them is Dr. Garrett, an ER physician with HCA HealthONE Skyridge. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for all the work you do. I can't imagine what you see on a daily basis, far different from what I do over here. Let's first start with a lot of parents' worst fear, drowning. This one seems to be one of the biggest safety risks here in Colorado, following multiple drownings at different state parks. What are some of the best ways that we as parents and just, young kids can learn to prevent this?
Sure. So I think a lot of people don't know drowning is the leading cause of death in children 1 to 4 years old. And so the NDPA has released these pillars of safety for parents to kind of keep an eye on for home. I think the first thing is making sure that your pool is fenced, there's a locked gate, or that the tarp is kind of very tight fitting around the pool. Supervision is key. So realistically, no child should be unsupervised around a pool outside. So it's on parents to be responsible, be out watching your children at all times. Obviously, depending on their degree of swimming competency, making sure that they're wearing life vests, floaties, and then, prepare for the emergency. I think if parents can know CPR, know how to deliver your rescue breaths, that can be the difference between life and death.
Oh my goodness. But great tips, of course. And if you yourself find yourself in unsafe water, what should you do?
I think the main thing is being cognizant of your surroundings. If you feel unsafe, get out of the water. And if you have any issues once you're out of the water, or you're feeling symptomatic, or you did have a submersion injury, call EMS.
Okay, and if I or one of our viewers sees something in the water, even if it's unsafe, should we go in there and help them? What if we're a strong swimmer?
If you're a strong swimmer, if you're comfortable, if you see someone having a drowning type injury and you feel safe in the water, the main thing is getting that person out of the water, getting them out of their wet clothing, and assessing for responsiveness. If they are not breathing, if they aren't responsive at that time, you call 911 and start delivering rescue breaths and possibly CPR.
Okay, great information. What about health and heat? Given how hot it's been and all these different alerts that we've had in the last 2 weeks, and especially because this week's temperatures are causing significant concern, what are some of the most important things that people should remember when it comes to this extreme heat and this kind of weather?
Yeah, it has been so hot outside. And the vulnerable populations you look at are children, elderly, and people who work outside during those peak heat hours of the day between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you're outside, if you're there when it's really, really hot, be cognizant of your surroundings, stay well hydrated. If you're starting to not feel well, go inside, air-conditioned area, get some shade. I think it's also important to know that alcohol is a diuretic. It's going to dehydrate you, so be very careful combining the two.
That's a great tip. What about just in general? Because I do think that people, I hope, they have their best intent. What are some of the mistakes that you see when people are trying to keep themselves cool besides the alcohol, right? That's just because it's a cold beer doesn't mean that it's hydrating you, but what are some other mistakes that we may make?
I think it's just overexerting yourself. It is so hot outside, and I think people want to go out and they want to have fun, and they don't drink enough water. And, also wear sunscreen. A lot of people come in with heat-related illnesses. They come in with 2nd and 3rd degree burns. And so it's being cognizant and taking those protective measures.
Right. Being in the ER, I can only imagine how many accidents you see with distracted driving.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend for all of us, especially among teens? That is just so concerning to me when my kids get of that age.
Sure. Yeah. That's the most kind of preventable injury we see, right? Are these distracted drivers, people who are driving intoxicated. And so, we have the hands-free law here. So you want to be aware of your surroundings. I promise the text, the TikTok, the reel can wait until you get home.
Yep.
And then, it doesn't put you at risk as much as it puts everybody else on the road at risk. So you have to be cognizant and aware that, you're being a danger to yourself and you're being a danger to other people.
And what about parents? How can we intervene and model or teach our children how to not be distracted drivers?
Right, you don't want to be that unfun parent who is enforcing all these rules with their kids, but I think it's important to have that honest sit-down conversation with your kids and tell them, you are advocating for their safety and you really want them to be a safe driver and you want to avoid these accidents that are so preventable if we can just stay focused on the road.
So preventable. Just hearing that gives me chills because then you're always going to have those regrets, right?
100%.
Anything else that you want to share with our viewers?
I would just say, as an ER doc, we hate seeing those preventable injuries. Yep. So anything that we can prevent and educate the public on is our goal. And we have fantastic EMS agencies throughout Colorado that provide great pre-hospital care. But ultimately, it's up to us to educate ourselves, to be cognizant of our surroundings. And if we can do that, I think everyone's gonna have a safe summer.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all your expertise and all that you do on a daily basis. We appreciate you, Dr. Prince.
Thank you so much.